So up till now, we've been using networking just to connect machines, and the only thing that we've done with those connections is ping. Now, ping is a helpful utility to build and troubleshoot networks, but networks don't exist so that we can ping other machines. We want to do something useful on the network. So in this lab, we're going to create a basic website, and we're going to upload this using the file transfer protocol to a web server. And then that website is going to be served back to us from a web server using the HTTP protocol. So we are going to use software called WinSCP. It's free software, it doesn't cost anything, it's small. This will allow us to upload our website to the Northern Michigan University web server. So you do need a valid NMU account. Everyone watching this video should have one. So let's go ahead and get started. First thing we're going to do is we're going to create our website locally. Now what I mean by locally is that it's going to be on my laptop only. It's not going to be public, available to anybody on the internet. So to do that, we're going to create a new folder to house all of our website files. Now you can put it anywhere you want to. Create this new folder. In the screenshot, I always have a temp folder on my computer. Put that wherever you want to. In your My Documents on your desktop. It doesn't really matter as long as you've got an empty space where you can start working. It's a best practice just to keep your website files in one location. Don't clutter them up with other types of documents. So just open up your Windows Explorer, find a new folder, wherever you want to put it, right click, create a new folder, call it My Website, call it whatever you want. As long as it's empty and you know where to find it, that's the important part. So I've got my folder here. Now I'm going to create a new text file. I'm going to call it text document, which is fine. We need to rename it with the extension. We're going to call it index.html. It's going to ask if I want to change the extension. Yes, I absolutely do want to change that extension. So this is a hypertext markup language file. That's what HTML stands for. It's a text file just with a specific format that web browsers know how to render into a web page. It's completely empty right now, but we are going to fix that. So let's go ahead and open up this file. So we can open it in Notepad. Notepad is the most basic program that you can use to open this up. Notepad is probably the simplest application in the whole Windows operating system. So I put this in basic-website in the My Website folder. So in the filter, it defaults to only opening text documents. I'm going to open up all files. So I'm going to open up index.html. So I've got that file loaded there. And so now the instructions want me to add the following text. So I could copy and paste, but I'm just going to type it out. Build up some muscle memory. You know someone's got some web design experience if they can put in those tags quickly, the greater than and less than signs. So everything between these greater than and less than symbols is an HTML tag, a specific tag. So we start off with HTML to say that everything between the opening and the closing HTML tags is hypertext markup language. So the opening tag just has the 4 letters HTML. The closing tag has the slash at the end. that backslash, or that forward slash, excuse me, says that we're closing off, we're ending the HTML. So after this, it's not HTML, it's undefined. So inside these tags now, everything I type is going to be hypertext markup language. So I'm going to have another tag ahead, this header tag, and I'll close that off. These should come in pairs. Almost all tags have to come in pairs. There's a few exceptions. We have a title, My Fabulous Website. Unfortunately, Notepad doesn't have spell checks. I'm not even sure if I spelled fabulous correctly, but we're going to go with it. So within the header, we have a title, and the title has an opening and closing tag. And we call this My Fabulous Website. So we'll see where all of this stuff renders. So after the header, we're going to put the body. Now you can see in my Notepad, I'm including a couple extra carriage returns to keep everything separate. It's perfectly fine. So I'm going to use the body with the opening and closing tab. I'm going to have an H1, welcome to my website. And I'm going to put an image, and the source of that image will be image.jpg. And with this image tag, I'm actually going to close it off using a special technique. I'm putting a space, and then I have a ./ and then the greater than sign. I can do that instead of doing /image because I don't need anything between the opening and closing. All the information for that image is right there, so I'm going to close it off just like that. So this looks good. I'm going to save this file, so File S or Control Save. Now let's look at what does this look like? Welcome to my website. All right, fantastic. Obviously we've got the broken image there. We can say welcome to my website is in a big font at the top of the page. And up at in the tab in Google Chrome, I've got My Fabulous Website. So you can see that that title shows up in the tab. So if I change this to My Great Website, pretty sure I spelled that right, and I reload the tab, whatever shows up in this title shows up in the tab. So the web browser is reading this HTML file and it's figuring out how to display it like a regular web page. Now this H1, let's say I want to change it. Let's fix the cap. This is the title. Reload it. It's reflected there. So the body is what's rendered in the main area of your web browser. That's what we think of as the actual web page is in the body. Now we've got this image here, and it's a broken link, right? So that's a problem. So you need to put a JPEG file called image.jpg in the same folder as this My Website folder. So if you have a JPEG image that you have, go ahead and copy one in there, rename it to image.jpg. Why don't I'll take a screenshot. I'll take a brand new screenshot. I'm going to save this as, I'm not going to save it in our lab folders. Instead, I'm going to put it in that ctemp temp basic website, my website. And I'm going to save it as a JPEG because that's what I told my HTML code I was going to call it. So I'm going to save that screenshot. So now I've got a file called image.jpg in the same folder as index.html. So I'm going to reload this. And now I've got that image link has been fixed. So this, it's a picture. It looks like text, but you can't select it. You can tell it is an image. So we can open this in our web browser and just look at the URL. it says file, and then a bunch of slashes, ctemp, basic website, my website, index.html. So this website is being served from my computer. Nobody on the internet now could access this. You have to be on my computer if you want to view my great website. So let's deploy this then. We are going to start a program called WinSCP, the one that you should download, WinSCP. Start that up. I'll upgrade a little bit later. So I've already got a website here. We're not going to use that one. Follow the same steps. I'm going to click New Website. So for protocol, we're going to use regular FTP, File Transfer Protocol. So the host name will be myweb.nmu.edu, and username will be your NMU ID. You can choose to save the password if you want to. You don't have to. I am going to, let's see, advanced. I'll just save this. The site name, it doesn't matter what you name it. That's good. Now I can have that site selected and just click login. It's going to prompt me for a password. So I'm going to type in my password and it's going to connect. So most FTP programs work generally the same way. I've got my documents over here. I am going to go to open a folder. I put everything in ctemp, basic website. I can navigate. Here I am, ctemp, basic website / my website. So these are my local files on my machine. Over here on the right hand side of the page, I have what is on the internet. I'm going to go into this pub folder, so it could stand for either publish or public. So everything here in pub is available on the internet, and we will browse that in just a minute. But what I need to do is I need to upload my files, my website, my two-file website, index.html and image.jpg. So I'm just going to drag them over. So now these two files have been synchronized. You can ignore this cyber folder, it's just a little thing I'm playing around with. You won't have that cyber folder unless you choose to create one, but you don't need to. So my computer used the file transfer protocol to communicate with the server with the hostname myweb.nmu.edu. So there is a server out there in the universe with this domain name. It has an IP address. You could ping that server, unless their firewall is blocking it, right? And that server is running an FTP, or File Transfer Protocol server. So my FTP client, WinSCP, is connecting to myweb.nmu.edu's web FTP server, and they're communicating with the FTP protocol to transfer files. So I've uploaded two files. I could download files if I wanted to, but they're the same files both places. I guess if I delete these two files, all of a sudden I accidentally deleted my website, so that's bad, right? So I could download them. Now I've got them back. Kind of a cheap backup service. Okay, so those files were uploaded to the FTP server. Now this FTP server at myweb.nmu.edu, its role is kind of done for right now. But now we want to access this website. I'm going to go to http myweb.nmu.edu // and then your NMU ID. So mine is JIMARQUA. So that is the address of my website. So those files that I just uploaded via FTP to the pub folder are now being served as a website. So now anybody on the internet can go to myweb.nmu.edu//JimMarquardt and see this wonderful website. Now, I should put some analytics on here because I'm sure this site's going to go viral. Clearly, it's terribly interesting. Obviously not, but it's out there. This is being served to us through the HTTP, or Hypertext Transfer Protocol. So the address, you can see, is myweb.nmu.edu//JimMarquardt. It's no longer, if I go to the other tab where I was developing locally, we're not looking at file anymore. Chrome started hiding this, but really we've got an implicit HTTP:// there to tell the web browser what protocol to use. Now, if this were secure, we could use HTTPS for secure, but it's not configured that way. We're just going to use regular old HTTP here. So we've got our website, we've uploaded it. Now when anyone views it in their browser with this URL, they'll be using the HTTP protocol. So we are good there. I've kind of talked about a lot of the instructions. So HTML, one of the trickiest parts of this is using HTML. There's a fantastic resource if you've never done any web development. One of the oldest, and I would say best ways to learn is to use the tutorials on w3schools.com. They claim to be the world's largest web developer site. They were one of the first. So when the internet was first born, W3 Schools was there teaching people how to build websites, do things with HTML and JavaScript, other key web technologies. So I would recommend, if you're interested in what you can actually do with HTML, check it out. There's tons of examples. If you click, we have the HTML5 tutorial. There's hours, and you can spend hours, probably years, learning all of this stuff. If you want to learn about more tags, like they've used a paragraph tag here. They've got cool things where you can change the text on the left-hand side, click Run, and it will update on the right-hand side. It's just a really good website for learning more sophisticated web development technologies. So you should know how to at least create a basic website. Use WinSCP to upload and download files. You should know what protocol you're using to upload with WinSCP and what protocol the web browser is using to download and display that web page. So this is a quicker lab, but I know using HTML the very first time can be a little bit daunting just because it's not that familiar. But these tags, this markup, this is what makes the internet work. So it's good to become familiar with website development basics.